Hello, I'm Sarah Pesvento, LPGA golf instructor. In this video, we're going to talk about the start of the downswing, how to get into the slot and be perfectly on plane. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to do this. So the start of the downswing, we want to try, if we've made a good backswing path, we want to try to keep the backswing and the downswing on the same path. So we want to try to avoid doing a loop. So a common issue at the start of the downswing is like coming over the top. So what actually happens when you come over the top is your hands move too much this way. So you're doing a loop this way and your hands move towards the ball. So we want to make a good backswing here that's on plane, kind of over the right shoulder, a little past the shoulder here. And then a good drill just to start the downswing on the same path is if you go to the top of the swing and just kind of pump your arms up and down like this. And so even just watching the shaft as you do that, making sure that path is starting down on the same path that you swung up on in the backswing. So I like hitting the ball straight. I like to teach people how to hit it straight. And when I was playing well, like in tournaments, usually hit the ball straight or maybe a slight draw if I was hitting it really solid. But basically, if you want to hit the ball straight, you don't want a big loop here, okay? So we want to just keep that path the same on the backswing at the top and as you start the downswing. Now, sometimes you can exaggerate the opposite. So let's say we have a golfer who's coming over the top. Okay, so they're going too much like this with the hands, which is a more common issue than going the other direction. And so when we get to the top, sometimes what I try to have people do is like move their hands this way and actually try to feel like a loop this way. And sometimes when they try to do that, they end up just swinging down the right path correctly. Just they swing down the same path, but they're trying to feel this loop here. And that actually can help you get rid of a slice, swinging more from the inside on the downswing. So I think the start of the downswing is an important part of the swing, because if you start the downswing correctly, the path of your club is going to stay on a good path, or the path of the club is going to stay on a good plane the rest of the way. So, you know, if you get it off track at the start of the downswing, it's hard to recover from that, and that leads to compensating and just inconsistencies. So we want to work on up and down the same path, starting that downswing on the same path you swung up on. Now, another thing at the top of the swing is we want to feel like we have good width, so our hands are far away from our right shoulder here. So you have to make a good backswing in order to start the downswing correctly. So our backswing, we're going to swing nice and wide like this, get into a good position at the top of the swing, and then, you know, getting our hands like a little bit past our shoulder like that, and not too steep and not too far around. So we just want to swing somewhere like this, and then down the same path. Okay, once you swing down at the start of the downswing on a good path, then it's going to stay on a good path the rest of the way, and then it's easier to come through with a square club face and hit the ball straighter. So another thing with the start of the downswing that you want to get right is your tempo. So we don't want to rush the start of the downswing. Sometimes golfers accelerate at the wrong time in the swing. Some golfers accelerate too much in their backswing, and then some golfers accelerate too much as they start the downswing. So we want to accelerate when we get about halfway down on the downswing. This is when you're going to start accelerating. So at the top of the swing, as you start the downswing, we want to just make a smooth transition. So we want that start of the downswing to be nice and smooth, okay? Nice and smooth, and just like medium speed. Don't want to rush it, okay? And that also helps you get a little more lag in your swing. If you accelerate too much, sometimes you lose the lag, and then you don't hit as solid of shots. But yeah, so tempo, good tempo. And then accelerate, you know, halfway down to the downswing, but don't rush that start of the downswing. Just smooth tempo. Remember, the pros swing about 80%. So if 100% is as fast as you can swing, I recommend 70 to 80% is a good range. We always want to kind of have the sense or the feeling of where our arms and the club are at. So if you go too fast, you don't really feel what you're doing or where your arms or the club are at. So medium tempo, accelerate at the right time. Don't try to accelerate as you start the downswing. There's a slight pause at the top of the swing as you transition from the backswing to the downswing. So I hope those tips help you with your downswing, the beginning of the downswing, and help you swing on a good plane and path. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks.